President Tinubu assures Nigerians of boosting food security. Plus, stakeholders advocate youth empowerment through job creation and skills development. Glad to have you join us on Panorama today. We are transmitting live from NTA Nugu Network Center. I am Chika Ukore. And we are beginning this edition on a cheering note. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu warmly congratulates Nigeria's female basketball team, the Tigers, on their remarkable achievement of reaching the finals of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afrobasket for the 5th consecutive time, following a hard-fought victory over Senegal. The president commends the resilience and dominance of reigning champions who have not defeated the Senegalese rivals for the 7th time, with a historic 75-68 win at the Paris des Sports Abuja, Côte d'Ivoire. President Tinubu congratulates the team victory in what was dubbed the final before the final, and for already securing a place in the 2025 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament scheduled for March 2026. Federal government has reiterated President Tinubu's administration's commitment to boosting food security through strategic partnership with development agencies, aimed at encouraging increased investment in food production across the country. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utizi, disclosed this when the newly appointed country representative of Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, to Nigeria, Dr. Gordon Hussein, and his delegation paid him a courtesy visit in Abuja. In a statement by the Director, Information and Publicity, Fumi Unetime Utezi, emphasized President Tinubu's strong commitment to enhancing food production in the country, recalling that these efforts inspired the declaration of a state of emergency on food security and the administration's sustained drive to attract investment in various aspects of agriculture and the food value chain. He assured the delegation of the ministry's readiness through the Department of Irrigation and Drainage to collaborate fully with FAO in advancing food production in Nigeria in line with the Renewed Hope agenda and the mandate of the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation. The minister added that FAO's hand-in-hand initiative and the proposed coming up in Abuja will serve as a veritable platform to unite investors and stakeholders to accelerate food security efforts nationwide. Country representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization, Dr. Hussein, said the visit is to inform the minister of the upcoming AFO hand-in-hand initiative for the Sahara-tagged investment in irrigation and water resources scheduled for Abuja between 16 and 18 September 2025 in Abuja. He highlighted the crucial role the ministry will play in the forum, noting that agriculture consumes already 90% of the available water resources. He explained that the forum will provide opportunities for the strategic development and collaboration in FAO's intervention areas, including investments through grants, loan, and capacity building. President of the Radio, Television, and Theatre Arts Workers Union, Ratawo Emeka Carlo, has added his voice to the call for dedicated special salary structure for media workers and those in the arts and culture industry. Joseph Osezins reports that this was during a familiarity visit by the union's new leadership to the Trade Union Congress, TUC, and the National Council for Arts and Culture.
are coming together.
In unity and solidarity lies strength and progress. This is the message as the leadership of the Radio, Television and Theatre Acts Workers Union, ROTAL, joins forces with the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria to push for working conditions for the workers.
Management and employers try to divide our ranks, but I'd like to assure you that together we can surmount all of those challenges.
The advocacy train also made a stop at the headquarters of the National Council for Arts and Culture.
Let's have a special salary structure for cultural workers in Nigeria. Just like we're going to let's also have a special salary structure for media practitioners in Nigeria. These two, you look around, you see that our essential service status should place us prime at the Committee of Trade Unions.
So protecting and preserving culture for us is not just about keeping it on the wall. It's about putting it in your phone. So you can live with it, you can engage it, you can connect to it, your children can connect to it. We are very, very connected to technology, innovation, and we see that as a critical part of what we do here.
At the heart of it all is a deep message that patriotism drives productivity. As storytellers and cultural ambassadors, members of the union are encouraged here to play a vital role in shaping the nation's image. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Legal practitioners and human rights activists have fought for strengthened efforts in protecting the rights to development and enforcement of fundamental human rights in Nigeria. They made a call at the second edition of the Nigerian Human Rights Conference held in Enugu. Blessing Ayamu reports that the conference had as its theme the right to development, rule of the Nigerian dream.
With increasing indications on the abuse and violation of human rights across Nigeria, as reflected in the National Human Rights Commission's dashboard for the month of July 2025, with an all-time record of over 1,000 complaints from Nigerians between January to June 2025. The second edition of the Nigerian Human Rights Conference seeks a multi-stakeholders engagement and commitment to advancing and protecting the rights of all Nigerians who are committed to fighting for socio-economic, political, and fundamental rights.
The idea is to see how best we can engage stakeholders to collectively engage beyond just the urban areas, so that those who are in rural areas are not entirely forgotten from the commitments or efforts in ensuring that the right of every Nigerian is being protected.
Enugu State Governor represented reiterates commitment to protect and promote the well-being of citizens, while former Chief Judge of the FCT High Court and other legal luminaries present called for collaboration that will ensure the enforcement of court judgments on human rights and development.
It is very, very certain and obvious that the administration of Criminal Justice Act has revolutionized the criminal justice.
Development is a human right obligation, and that will begin to help us when we begin to make demands on how we want to approach the issue.
Other stakeholders highlighted the crisis of maternal deaths in Nigeria as a human rights violation and enjoined states to provide legal and institutional frameworks that guarantees the right of persons with disabilities.
The only thing that can make Nigeria is to do justice and to tell ourselves the truth. I'm leaving my brother or my person, like we say in our palace.
The session later collapsed into a panel of discussants on human rights enforcement issues in practice. In Enugu, Blessing Anyao, NTA News.
No doubt, Nigeria has a significant youth population, which could be a potential demographic dividend for economic growth. Despite this enormous endowment, data by the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that Nigerian youths between the ages of 15 to 35 are either unemployed or are underemployed. signaling a need for more effective job creation and skills development initiatives. Grace Wilson Eze seeks the view of opinion holders on how best to equip the youth for national development.
In the heart of every young person lies the potential for greatness if discovered and nurtured. This is because the youthful age is the canvas where the art of change and development is painted. Nigerian youths are known for their hard work and resilience, even in the face of daunting challenges. Therefore, empowering them remains crucial for nation building, leveraging on their potential to drive economic growth, social justice, and better governance.
If you empower the youth, you are only building a foundation for the country to grow. So without the youth, you are not going anywhere, because that is where the labor force lies.
We have lots of youths that are not doing anything right now. They graduate from school, they don't have jobs, they don't have means of starting a business. So I believe that if they can empower the youths, it will lead to a lot of development of crimes.
In Enugu State, for instance, the past government and even this present government has been very, very serious about empowerment of youths. Talk about sports, talk about development, you talk about computer literacy, and all embracing AI development.
For these respondents, it is quite pertinent that the youths who are seemingly the hope of Nigeria's future are given the pride of place in policy formulation and implementation. They are, however, urge the youth to stop playing second fiddle, especially in the country's politics, but to work towards bringing the desired change in leadership.
What I'm calling on government to do is to look at this agricultural sector. There are many areas in this agricultural sector, and target the real youths in the villages, have a database of some of these youths, partner the traditional rulers, partner the media, partner the churches.
One of the things the government can do to fill in the gap with the kind of empowering youths when it comes to skill acquisitions. And that's where the youths have to make themselves available as well too.
Indeed, there is a clarion call for Nigerian leaders to invest in human capital development so as to safeguard the future of the country. In Enugu, Grace Wilson Eze, NTA News.
Now the big moment, and joining us to discuss the importance of youth empowerment to national development is Honorable Chimobi Sam Ato, member representing Enugu North and South Federal Constituency at the Great Chamber of the National Assembly. Honorable, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you just listened to our reports, and we want to actually take it off from here. How do we tackle unemployment and limited opportunities among the youths?
Thank you so much. I must have to say, any nation who wants to grow in terms of the economy should involve the youth in policy making. 2, should give the youth quality education. 3, you need to engage them in human capital development, because that's the only thing that you can do to a youth, because that controls the population of the nation, more especially our Nigeria. So that's one of the things which the government should do to carry the youth along.
Okay, tell us how this empowerment can actually come from. In which form? Tell us the forms, these youth can actually be empowered to contribute to national development.
Okay. When you talk about education, education plays a serious role in life of any youth, in life of any human being. Because the worst thing that you do, education will make you to know what is right and what is wrong. And if the foundation is not strong, definitely the house will collapse. But with this education, they will know, even if they are doing their business, they can do their business and keep the record of the business. Then when you talk about, apart from that, all these million businesses, in China, most of the things that make China to be controlling the economy of the world because of the medium businesses which they are invested in their youth. From small businesses, that is where you bring it together, it will be a larger thing. So we need to involve our youth both in policy making and empowering them is very important.
It's very important to involve the youth in everything we do in the country. Now, because of what you said, can I ask you, is youth in leadership truly achievable in Nigeria, considering you at this young age being at the Green Chamber of the National Assembly? Is it feasible?
Yes, it's very, very feasible.
How?
One, as you can see, I'm a youth. I represent the youth. And there's other youth in the Green Chamber, aging from the age of 18 years to 35 years, 40 years. They are the youth. And what I always want to advise the youth to come out. You don't need to, because power is not all that given to. You must have to show interest that you want to partake in policy making in Nigeria or any society you are. You don't stay outside. Yes, they told us when we were much younger, when we were in school, that youth are the leaders of tomorrow. You can't just stay at home and be the leaders of tomorrow. You must be involved in any policy. You must be involved, showing interest. You don't leave it for the people. If you don't show interest, they'll feel that you are not interested, and they do their things the way they want to do it. But when you show interest, they know that, yes, this is the hour of the youth to partake and be part of the policy making. Because there's no way you will control the population of 65% of the population, and people will be deciding your fate. It's not possible. Just because most of the youth are reluctant in being involved, rather sitting and complaining. Well, it's time for us to stop complaining as the youth, to take the mandate.
That's a beautiful one. Power is not given, and yet the youths are reluctant. Now another question I know many of our audience or viewers will be aching for right now. Tell us how these young people can actually contribute in shaping the future of this country.
One, you know, Nigeria is undergoing the challenges of as the youth, we need to rise up to the occasion and know the best way for us to stop the insecurity in Nigeria. By so doing, the society, the people will start having respect for the youth. One, they have known that you have matured to take it, because most of the crimes committed is not for the older people, it's the younger ones, it's young youth. We must have to stand up and say enough is enough, because it affects our future, it affects the society, it affects everything around us. So youth need to rise up and say no, because those people committing the crime, they live around us, they live with us. Most of us, we know them. We can stop them in committing the crime, so that our future and the future of the generation who will come after us will say, yes, see what you have done for the society.
All right, that's beautiful. Then let me ask you again, as a lawmaker who is a youth and privileged to be at the Green Chamber, how can policy formulation actually help to mainstream youths, more of people, within your age brackets in leadership in Nigeria?
Okay. Youth is someone, let me just define it in my own way. Youth is someone who thought that what is happening in his society, either is good or bad. If it is bad, someone who will stand and say, I want to make a change, a positive change in the society. Because I remember during the independence, most of Zik and Tafara Barawa, they were youth, and they felt that what the colonial masters were doing in Nigeria was not all that okay. They had to rise to the occasion and say what they are doing to Nigerian people are not good. They rise to stand and work for the people of Nigeria. That is why they brought out the change. Have independence. Youth can stand up and say what is not right, and stand for the right thing, so that the people will be happy.
We are happy having you on Panorama today, but before we let you go, your final words to our viewers, especially the youths.
My final words to the fellow youths: we should seek for peace. We should engage ourselves in handwork. We should engage ourselves going to school, but then government should provide a neighboring environment for the youth and the people of Nigeria, so that our youth will do things that is right, that the youth will add to the GDP of Nigeria. And the medium scale in our SMEs is very important. for our society, so that both the youth and the women will strive. Thank you.
All right, that's a beautiful one. I hope we'll invite you again. You oblige.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for having you. We've been speaking with Honorable Member representing Enugu North-South Federal Constituency at the Great Chamber of the National Assembly, Honorable Chimobi Ato, and thanks for having you. It's a pleasure. Right now, let's observe a quick break.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we sway in colors, with undying demand. We make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. Each ethnicity is unique, we have more than just a nation. We are Nigeria, strengthening unity, we know they carry life. We are Nigeria, together live the dream of a land with great destiny. We are Nigeria.
I am the real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
To stimulate growth in commerce along the nation's eastern economic corridor, the Bauchi State Governor gave these invites at the 2025 Bauchi State Economic and Investment Summit in Enugu. Susan Eze is our guide.
Bauchi, a northeastern state, unveils her economic potentials to the southeastern zone. The team showcased rice, sesame, groundnut, maize, and others in agric potentials. In tourism, the state boasts of the Yankari Game Reserves and Wikiworm Spring, while in mining, Bauchi prides in her high reserves in limestone and great potentials in oil and gas. This unveiling, according to the governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, represented by the secretary to the state government, and his economic team, is a strategic move to engage Southeast investors, development partners, and key stakeholders to collaborate with the Bauchi state government in business.
All these measures bear sufficient testimony to our strong determination to attract more and more productive investments so as to accelerate economic growth and prosperity for the people.
We are looking at about 10 different key priority sectors for people to come in and invest.
Other speakers, including the chairman of the occasion, Professor Chinedu Nebo, and the executive secretary, Southeast Investment Summit, Dr. Ifedi Okwena, agreed that Southeast holds great potentials for business. Hence, Bauchi is on the right path, seeking partnerships with the zone.
Bauchi state government is doing what it ought to do by creating an enabling environment for trade and commerce and mining and industry to thrive.
We want to come to Bauchi to talk business. We want to see how do we partner in the area of agro-processing.
The summit, scheduled to hold, has the theme, Rebuilding a Resilient Economy, Optimizing Investment and Partnerships. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has reiterated his commitment to transforming the Nigerian Air Force into an able and resilient force that effectively meets the air power demands and national security in all operational environments. The Chief Flying Officer was speaking at the combined graduation ceremony of Integrated Helicopter Pilot Course 9, OPEC 2024, and the Airline Transport Pilot License Course 2, OPEC 2025 at the International Helicopter Flying School, Nigerian Air Force Base, Enugu.
To the graduates, the Chief of Air Staff represented maintained that the advancement of the International Helicopter Flying School will aid an agile and resilient helicopter pilot training ecosystem, critical to achieve the key enablers of the Nigerian Air Force philosophy.
The advancement of International Helicopter Flying School will aid an agile and resilient helicopter pilot training ecosystem, critical to achieving the key enablers of my command philosophy, particularly deliberate training and mission-oriented force development.
The management of IHFS said the institution represents professionalism, excellence, and discipline with the modest global best practices, which represents the Chief of Air Staff commitment to create a world-class aviation training environment that supports both operational efficiency and human capital development.
Since inception in 2012, IHFS has continued to justify the confidence reposed in it by consistently producing competent, safety-conscious, and mission-ready helicopter pilots.
Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbari, stated that Enugu is committed to progress and transforming the state into a regional aviation hub through partnership with IHFS and Nigerian Air Force.
Enugu State will also continue to partner with this great institution in training more of our citizens to ensure we build adequate capacity in this aviation sector.
The graduates were charged to adapt and operate as coordinated joint force, manifest their requisite skills and experience to tackle the multifaceted and constantly evolving threats of national security. In Enugu, Chimaroke Ugu, NTNU.
It is on that note we call it a day on Panorama today. Thanks for watching, and may God bless the Federal of Nigeria. Bye-bye.